Welcome to another program in our series, Freethinking Forum. And I'm delighted today to have with me Steve and Philip. Steve Donofrio.
Correct.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
And Philip McCauley.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, you guys have very interesting, intertwined responsibilities here. Will you tell us first about, what is it,
Twin Stars.
Twin Stars Academy.
Yeah, Minnesota Twin Stars Academy is a 501c3 nonprofit. They're a soccer academy. We have both men's and women's semi-professional clubs here in the Twin Cities.
Good.
And we've been around for a decade or so, pretty long time doing that. We also have kids programs as well.
And we're talking about the kids programs, are we?
We'll be talking about the adult programs today.
Both. Okay. And Philip, you're Friends and Family.
Friends and Family.
Is that a football club?
Yeah, it's part of a football club, but right now we run two components. We run the philanthropy part of it, which is the nonprofit aspect, and also the soccer part of it, which is the youth and adult soccer portion. So we are kind of in a variety of two different places at one point in the year.
And we'll be hearing about this poster later.
Yep, Unity Tournament, yep.
But let's talk first of all about how you came to be working together.
One word, soccer.
Yep.
That's all you can say?
Well, I mean, wasn't that right? I mean, how does a guy, I'm in my 50s, and I come from a very white Caucasian background, and now I have a great friend, Philip, from Liberia, and how we ended up working together was through soccer. It actually brought us together, our passion for a game. We met through the sport of soccer, and then as I discovered more about what Philip was doing with friends and family,
Exactly.
I became passionate about the community he's working with.
Great.
And it became, I would say, the other direction as well.
Yeah, and then
Go ahead.
And the most important part of it is, like he previously mentioned, soccer. So, by meeting Steve, I didn't know, like you said, white Caucasian, so motivated to the game, the love in the game, and also so passionate about community engagement. And that's what drew me into him. And as far as, having to build that relationship with his community and my community, we feel like, this is the best time, this is the right time to start the right process.
Good.
Yep.
Now, I've heard people say soccer unites the world. It
Indeed.
can unite our community.
Indeed.
Is that what's happening here?
Indeed. So in our Liberian community, so in the Brooklyn Park community, you have diverse groups, people from different countries. And also, previous years, we used to play in a white community-based league. And you have different people from different walks of background, so it was unique, So it was fun, but then 3, 4, 5 years back, and it just fell back. At the end of the day, there was no community engagement. People were just doing things by themselves. So the community became disconnected. So
you need community engagement.
You need community engagement. Everybody needs to come back. Whether it's from a policing standpoint or whether it's from, just having a conversation, having events. So everyone just needs to be part of it. And that has long gone for over 3 to 5 years now.
Yeah. I think a lot of times too is that when you have different people's groups, especially I spent 15 years in Japan, and I understand kind of what that feels like if you're kind of the different group in a society and a culture. You gravitate toward people of your own kind, so to speak.
Definitely.
And that can become a segregated group. As much as we talk about community, we need that catalyst, that one thing that will draw us back in together to say, because there has to be a starting point. I would probably not by nature say, let me learn about Liberian culture and just spend all my time with a bunch of my Liberian friends, my Nigerian friends.
But you played soccer with them.
But you put a ball on the field,
We'll speak the same language.
and that soccer becomes the same language. Let me give you a fun example.
Yep.
Minnesota Twin Stars. On our Minnesota Twin Stars adult team, the men's team, I'm going to list a few languages that are spoken. So it's English, Spanish, Portuguese, German, Japanese. Mandingo.
Mandingo.
And there's Arabic, and there's some I can't even pronounce from the African Swahili probably. And so this group communicates with each other.
Yep.
But when you have those relationships, but they all understand the soccer language, and race
Yep.
breaks down, religion breaks down.
Yeah, we don't.
Respect for religion too.
There, real respect for one another.
Real respect for one another, and that's that commonality, that start point. But from there, okay, we have this in common.
Yep.
Now we're able to communicate about other things we have in common. Mm-hmm. Where a lot of times, we as a society and people in general often look at the things we're different about, and those differences keep us apart. We have to start looking at what do we have in common. And if you could only do one thing, this is where that soccer is a global passion. I think you were just telling us before we started that wonderful story about Liberia and the Civil War and how a soccer player, please.
Yeah, and again,
And he the president.
He's currently the president of Liberia. His name is President George Weah. He started from grassroots soccer and worked his way to Europe, and beyond just the soccer part, he's a great person of giving, and his heart of philanthropy was so unique. So he started to give back, in a way where, there's so many avenues. Children were hungry, people, couldn't afford. So just by giving back, when you hear the success story, and then he used soccer as a means, to bring people together. People were devastated during the war. People lost their families, their parents, so he used soccer. So that mechanism of soccer brought people at one point where you can forget about everything, and he used soccer as a base, as an entertainment base for people to understand that, what, I may have problem with you, but if we enjoy soccer together, we have the opportunity to just be friends, be happy, and be one family. And I think that is something we need to get back to in our community. And I'm so happy to have met Steve, for foster the community.
You're leading what deserves to be a very large number of people collaborating in this.
And so if you look back at Twin Stars and the Liberian community, we have, back in the days we had, years back, we had so many Liberians playing for Twin Stars.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, so many Liberians. It was so competitive and it was more engaging. But then at one point, everything just fell apart. So everybody, like Steve Cletter said, everybody was pretty much doing their own thing, and with he now coming back on board, and trying to engage more. It's my first time, since I've been in Minnesota for over 15 years now. It's my first time seeing, person from Steve's background coming to the community to say, what, we can do better. We can engage more. And, what are some of the things that you like and some of the things that I like, we can bring them together and foster one relationships. So. And
we have a great, large African-based population here, don't we?
Oh my God! So Liberia, approximately population was slated as approximately 20,000 Liberians.
20,000 Liberia alone
in Minnesota.
In Minnesota.
And it was believed Liberia is the largest immigrant population in Minnesota.
Really?
Yes.
Brooklyn Park's sister city is Liberia, the capital of Liberia.
Yeah, you can see that too. Yeah. So, and you have so many African immigrant countries. So, Ethiopia, Ghana, Nigerians, and we all play on Brooklyn Park Zen Field. So every Saturday you have multiple, you have diversity of groups that are on the field, and everyone just come together just for soccer. So I can leave my group and go there and say, hey, I want to play. And they will definitely be able to, embrace the culture. So, soccer speaks one language at the end of the day.
Great.
Yep.
It sounds like a model for other human relations too.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to get away, as far as taking your mind from everything, and you love to play soccer, you go on the field. and you start to interact with people and you start to play the game and you love the game to that point, for that moment, it takes everything away. You know, all you have to do is just concentrate and enjoy the moment. So, soccer is very good.
Yes. Now, we spoke about having more people involved.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us about some of the jobs that people can take?
Yeah, I think, and going back to his point, is there's two groups of people: those who just love soccer. But I fell into soccer because of my son played it. But there's other people who just say, look, I'm not a big soccer fan, but I am a fan of community engagement. I want to learn more about other cultures, other people groups. How do I do that? Well, show up at a soccer field and let them teach you the game. Or let them, or learn, or just communicate through volunteerism. With the Twin Stars, there's so many opportunities. We're looking for people who might just say, look, hey, I have a background in business management. I have a background in event planning. I just like to volunteer.
Yeah.
They could contact the Twin Stars and be a volunteer at our match day experience, or come out and enjoy that. And through that, you'll develop relationships with people you might never thought of.
Now, we have on the screen an email address for you.
Yep.
And a phone number?
Correct.
So they can call you and say, how can I help?
Yep, and I can show them a million ways to be involved.
They don't need a million.
Right, but I don't need a million, but there are.
Yeah.
And it's even just going to a match and sitting in the stands and meeting someone else who you might never have thought before,
Yeah.
which is exciting.
Well, I expect you would ask someone who was saying, how can I help? Tell me about you and what your interests are, and
Yeah.
so that you can help them get acquainted with the people who are working in that area now.
Yep. There's openings in the front office of the organization to help organize, to help fundraise, to help with match day experience when the game day comes, running the ticket gate, interacting as what's called a match ambassador, which is just basically working in the crowd and helping people enjoy themselves.
Now, a match ambassador, that sounds like introducing a man and a woman, or is that?
No, that's match day. So we say game day.
Oh, not that kind of
So
match.
yeah, we mean game ambassador, a game. So and then we might even be about teaching football, soccer terminology.
Well, it's called football throughout most of the world,
Yeah.
isn't it?
It is.
Yep, it is.
A lot of the places.
And then, and when just to talk a little bit on what he just mentioned, as part of what brought us together is the fact that he talked about having match day kids to come on the field, and we are also in the process of trying to get another group in the community that have group of kids that they teach the soccer part of it. So hopefully in the next week or so, he can get those kids to be on to be at the games for match day event. So it's again, it comes down to reaching out to the community, and also community reaching out and be able to to collaborate together as one family. So we are excited again about, because when I first met him, I didn't have all the opportunities I'm having right now. I was on it, we were on it confined to our community. We didn't know how to go out, because we pretty much raised money and other stuff from ourselves, But just the fact that, we can also get another platform to do something with others, that's something that is very, very huge.
Sounds like you're all ready to grow in a big way.
Yeah, and that is the thing, friends and family. So we've been together for over a decade, and we've been together for a decade. We have done some great things in the community, but just going outside of our comfort zone is very, very important. Let other people see us as not just being tailoring, your effort to just one side of the community, but you can also, reach out to other communities and work. And just trying to partner with Twin Stars, we believe that it would bring us out there more. People will get to know who Friends and Family are and what they do, not just actually, just people. We don't want to be looked at as just a soccer club, but also we want to be looked at as a community engagement group too as well.
And some of the, well, for example, let's say there's a business owner out there or a company out there who says, I'm short employees. Well, there's a lot of people in the Iberian community who actually need jobs and are very hardworking, dependable people who just need a chance.
Yeah.
So with this relationship, a person could go, hey, wait, I'm in need of workers. Well, then fine, I can talk to Philip and friends and family and go, how many do you need?
Yeah.
And we can make that connection. So we're providing labor to a lot of companies who might need labor locally. And we're providing jobs to families who desperately need jobs. And so it begins on the soccer field or in the soccer stadium, but it ends with a family now having an opportunity to work and take care of their children. And then these children have an opportunity to get correct education because someone out here was able to connect with someone here
Through soccer.
And sometimes it seems almost silly to say, it's just a game.
Yeah.
But
It's more than a game.
it's a passion, it's a lifestyle, but it truly is. And again, I just love that story, how this world famous soccer player said, look, put your guns down, stop fighting, let's talk about soccer. And all of a sudden, all these differences, all these problems begin to melt away. It doesn't solve all the problems, but it's a starting point for conversation, or it's a starting point to learn something else. People say, oh, how do I help? Well, Friends and Family does a big back to school program for kids who need supplies, not only here, but in Liberia as well.
Oh.
And so tell us a little bit about that.
So part of what we do is every year, we've been in this thing for 3 years now. Every year we have a back to school event where we reach out to the community and give backpacks, pencils, and every educational supplies you can think about. And then every Christmas we have a Christmas event, Christmas party that we give gifts, and we have now partnered with Toys for Tots. So our event is different. It's kind of unique because we actually have a big party for the kids.
Yeah.
So
That's important.
Yeah. So and now this year we are now extending it to Liberia. Camp 4, we will be distributing approximately 1,500 book backpacks and educational supplies you can think about. So we are excited,
Wow.
And so it's all about giving. It's all about engagement. It's all about being out there. When he talks about jobs, there were people in our community, they are more introverted, where they keep their problems to themselves. But when he came on the field and he's like, if you need jobs, contact me. And the minute he left, people just started to come to us and like, hey, can you put my name down? But you would never know until you reach out there. And just having him as as a friend, as a sounding board now, as somebody who want to engage with the community, I think it's a very good thing. And just utilizing the soccer field, because if he had not come to the soccer field, he wouldn't have met those people. So again, it's all about community engagement and getting involved.
And I think, I just thought about this too, Philip. I think one of the things we're going to do, and maybe we can gauge all of our communities together, but I think at maybe one of our last matches, we'll do a stuff drive. Have everybody bring back to school stuff because it's in July.
Yep.
And it's heading into that, getting ready for the fall. Maybe we can do a big event at a Twin Stars match and just invite everybody out and say, look, show up, bring backpacks, bring pencils, bring school supplies.
Everything, yep.
We'll have a special big bin, a friends and family bin on at the match, and we'll just fill it up.
Appreciate it.
And see if we can't do that.
Yeah.
That might be a fun thing to do.
Appreciate that. Appreciate
So
it. Yep.
let's begin work. We'll begin working on that.
Yep.
Of course, I might tell our Twin Stars folks that are watching right now that it's up to you to expect this to come from me. So it's just a new idea, but
Okay.
we're going to make it happen, and I think
Yeah.
we can generate some excitement, and let's bring some of the players out to the Christmas party that are still in town. And
Yep.
again, even if just talking, we come up with new ideas.
Yes. Exactly.
And it was what a wonderful, we learn about things we've never learned about. We learn about cultures and people. And the other day I was at, there's a fun restaurant here in Brooklyn Park, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's an African-based restaurant. I went and had some meat pies and some other stuff. And I was
Okay.
like,
Yeah, they have some.
Which one is that?
Well, they have multiples. They have Jumbo Africa, and they have
Taste of Africa.
Taste of Africa. I think there's one off of Brooklyn Drive. It's,
Yep,
yeah.
that's where I was. The Taste of Africa restaurant is where I ate. And,
Yeah.
But I guess my point
And
is,
there's some others, you say?
yeah,
Yeah, a lot of African cuisine and well
Good.
well cooked, and it's
Yeah.
usually they get it organic, so it's
So what were you starting to say?
I was going to say that it's people out there, they want to know about the community. That's one way to engage in the communities and visit some of these local-based businesses that are serving African-based food, and that's another way. Because you walk in there, you'll probably find a TV the soccer match on, most likely. You'll be able to watch something.
every time you walk into an African business area, you always see soccer on the screen. So
Yeah.
Wow.
that's all and that's
Day
all
and
we.
night.
Yeah,
Day and night.
that's all we pretty much from a sports standpoint. That's all we live for, because that's the only thing that we try for. It's just soccer. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, it's just it's the starting point to build a relationship.
Yeah. I'm beginning to understand. It only takes a ball.
It only
You-
takes a ball.
You don't even have to have a field that is.
I mean, yeah, and with grassroots soccer, you just need some space, location. The ball is right there, and you can just start doing something, and just start playing the ball, and then once you have the opportunity, like fields available, like now in Brooklyn Park, you have multiple fields because it's summertime. You will see at 5:30, 6 o'clock, that all the fields are full because there's so many African people. There's so many, folks from the white community. They come there to play soccer event, So and then I think every Wednesday or Thursday, you have the kids on the soccer field. It's a very unique event. We have kids from our community now integrated into the youth league. So it's a engagement, diversity, integration thing. So I think it's very good for the community, and it will. And once we continue to have that, it will be more sustained, and we can have a vibrant relationship amongst ourselves.
And so with the Twin Stars, being that we're a semi-pro league, their tickets are affordable. We're not Major League Soccer. It's not $20, $30, $50 a ticket. It's donations only at the gate. So you can come and you can meet people in the stands. You can cheer on a team. You can, in Europe and in Africa, some of the lower league teams, divisions we're at, are some of the most passionate fans in the soccer community.
So how do I find out where to go to
Well,
see the semi-pro game?
The is the NPSL, or the women's team is the WPSL, and on our website is our schedules. And we play in Minnetonka High School. We have there'll be 5 home matches for the women. And I'd say the best day to get out there would be May 26th.
Okay.
Because we got a big doubleheader. The women play first, the men play right after.
Well, and so the first game is what time?
I believe we kick off at 5 for the women,
5 p.m.
7 p.m. for the men.
7 p.m. Okay. Well, they will have a big turnout.
Well, that's what we hope.
And that's
Yeah.
and that's the thing.
Excuse me.
As part of what Steve is trying to preach is that we need all of the communities to come together, come together and watch the games. All of the communities, we need everybody, Liberian community, Asian community, Latinos, the white community. We need everybody to come together to watch the game. It's going to be at Minnetonka High School. Everyone is invited. Come and be part of something unique. Come and be part of a community team, because that's the community team that will represent, Brooklyn Park, New Hope, Crystal, Osseo, and everywhere in Minnesota.
That's a strong appeal,
Yeah.
Philip.
Yep.
And we've got less than 5 minutes left, but I did promise you to
Yes. So
be able to talk about this.
yes. So
The Unity Tournament.
Unity tournament. Yeah, so friends, this will be our third tournament hosting, and Friends and Family, we tend to have this tournament every July 4th weekend around that time.
And this year it's June,
It's June
29th to July 1st.
Yes, and part of what we're trying to do is we have reached out to 35 teams, and we hope to get at least 16 teams. What we try to do is, say, well, every community because we have reached out the Ghanaian community, Asian community, you know. So Twin Stars is, you know, is on the verge of coming to be part of the event. So we're not just restricting it. The goal of the tournament is not just to raise money, it's to bring every people from diverse communities to come together as part of, you know, of community initiative. And that way, you know, we can foster one relationship. Last year we had approximately 300-400 people on the field. You know, it was a very big festivity, and people from the community came to the field like, what's happening here? You know, and you know,
There was nearly 1,000 people at one time out there at Zane, walking around watching the games.
No, you at Zane.
Yeah.
Zane
Is that the
Zane
school?
Park?
Zane
and
Sports.
Noble
So
Sports
there's
Park.
Zane Sports Stadium and Zane Sports Complex and Noble Sports Park. So
And
Here in Brooklyn Park.
What intersection?
say that again.
Zane and Noble?
Zane and 85th and Zane. That's the first
85th.
and Zane. That is in Brooklyn Park, and then there is 95th Avenue and Noble Park. That's the soccer complex.
Okay.
And our tournament this year will be held at the Noble Sports Park, and we need every community to be part. You know, if you can have your team in, we need you to come and support and just come and witness the game.
Now, I know Noble, what is...
It's right across of Highway 610, just right above
above Highway what?
Highway
610.
610.
610, the east-west
Yep.
one that goes, So I don't know, I want to be there.
Yeah, it's gonna be really exciting.
Yeah, it starts June
Yeah.
29, and you know we're excited about it, and you know everyone will be there to participate. You know, whether you are a soccer player or whether you're a fan, but it's just a community.
Or if you're a
initiative.
business that wants you want to enter this community market and you want to get on the sponsorship program, and a business could sponsor and get a table and a booth and introduce their business to a brand new community. It's a wonderful opportunity.
And that is very great because, you know, we've partnered with the city of Brooklyn Park to have that available to us. And, you know, you can bring it, you know, have your table, you can advertise, and I'm telling you, you're going to have a lot of people there. You'll be surprised.
Now, we haven't spoken about the impact on law enforcement yet, but I bet this soccer league work helps keep kids out of trouble.
Definitely. So there are so many teams in the community. There's one soccer team that is just Africa.
Oh my goodness.
They are very good at taking kids from high school, taking them to college. So, you know, it is not just soccer. So you have that group that is helping in that direction. So they are very strong at it.
Yeah, the Ajax Africa group is reaching into the kids who are struggling living in the United States, where they're in that edge of, I go bad, or what do I do? And they use soccer as that tool to get them on the right track, to get them the discipline, to help them get educated.
I congratulate you.
Well, thank you
I
for allowing us
congratulate
to
you.
be
Thank
in
you
here.
very much for the time.
And I look forward to seeing the many other people that will want to work with you.
I
Well,
appreciate it.
thank you so much
Thank you
for
very
allowing
much.
us.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning in.